Hi, and a very good day to lecture. Today our team, which is TEAM15, is going to present ERD, Entity Relationship Diagram, about a practical form, which is lecture evaluation form. As we can see here, lecture evaluation form has a lot of entity. For the first entity is student. Lecture evaluation form contains the student. Student entity has three attributes, which is metric number, student number, and organization. As we can see for the metric number, we are underlining the metric number because this attribute is the primary key for the student, while the student name and organization is not a primary key. After that, lecture evaluation form is record the individual assessment. This individual assessment has another entity, which is first, knowledge. Knowledge have three attributes, which is the knowledge ID is the primary key. Individual assessment also have a problem solving. Problem solving also have three attributes, which is problem ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not the primary key. That's why we underline the problem ID attributes. Third, individual assessment has social skill and responsibility, which is social ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key. Fourth, individual assessment has values, attitudes, and professionalism entity, which is values ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key for values, attitudes, and professionalism. And the last one for individual assessment is lifelong learning, which is lifelong ID is the primary key for lifelong learning. After that, lecture evaluation form record the project assessment. Project assessment also have a lot of entity. First, project assessment has a logbook. Logbook has three attributes, which is log ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key. After that, project assessment has a final report. Final report also have three attributes, which is final ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key. After that, project assessment has a report draft. Report draft same with a final report, which is this entity have three attributes, and the report ID is a report draft primary key, while name and mark is not a primary key. Last but not least, project assessment has a proposal. Proposal entity also has a 3 attributes, which is proposer ID is the primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key. After that, we're going to see the next entity. Lecture evaluation form also have a record another entity, which is project presentation. Project presentation has another 2 entity, which is first, project presentation has a practical project demo. The practical ID here is the primary key. Same goes to this, name and mark is not a primary key. The second is a project presentation has verbal communication. Verbal communication is same goes to the previous entity, which is verbal ID is a primary key, while name and marks is not a primary key. And last but not least, lecture evaluation form is reported by lecturer. Lecturer entity have 5 attributes, which is staff ID, name, date, signature, official stamp. We are choose the staff ID as a primary key because staff ID is a unique key. That's all for the ERD for lecture evaluation form. After that, from the ERD, we need to transform the data into the normalized form. Before we go through to this table, I need to explain what is the normalization form. Okay, database normalization is a technique of organizing the data in the database. Normalization is a systematic approach of decomposing tables to eliminate data redundancy, or we call it repetition, and undesirable characteristic like insertion, update, and deletion are normalized. It is a multi-step process that puts data into tabular form, removing the duplicated data from the relation table. Actually, normalization database have several rules, such as first normal form, second normal form, third normal form, BCNF, lastly fourth normal form. But here we are using until third normal form. Okay. Now we can go through to this table. This is UNI for the data before this, which is the lecture evaluation form. Okay, we transform into this. First, we write into a unnormalized form. In the unnormalized form, we are just combine all the data into one table like this. Okay, this is actually the one table, but there is no space, so I need to separate like this. Okay, but this is actually the one table, and there is no special here. It is just all of the data here. Okay, as we can see this. we combine it all. Okay, and now we are going to transform it into a first normal form. Okay, this is the first normal form. First normal form is actually that should only have a single or atomic value, attributes or columns. Values stored in a column should be of the same domain, and all of the column in a table should have a unique name. Okay, in this first normal form, the different from the first from the anomalized form is if the data from the UNF have a redundant data. If we transform it into a first normal form, we need to separate it, separate the data such like this. Okay, for example, the knowledge ID 1. From the, as we can see from the UNF, the knowledge ID only have one column, but in one column have three different data, which is K001, K002 and K003. But if we transform it into a first normal form, we need to separate it. So in this form, there is no redundant data. As we can see here, there is just a one column, one row, something like this. There is a data and information, only like this. Okay, after this, we are going to see the second normal form. Okay, this is a second normal form table. What the different from the first normal form is? The difference is, in this second normal form, we need to separate the partial dependency data. Okay, so before that, we need to separate it one data to one data, like this. For the first data is lecture, second data is a student, third is this one, a knowledge, and then social ID, and following by log ID, proposal ID. Okay, the last is a proposal ID. Okay, as we can see the knowledge ID table there, we put knowledge ID into the first column. Knowledge ID is referred to the primary key for this table. Okay, followed by another data such as problem ID is also the primary key, social ID, lifelong ID, log ID, report ID, final ID, proposal ID, practical ID, verbal ID. Okay, this is all of the primary key, and the other data is not a primary key. Okay, after that, we need to transform the second normal form to third. This is the third normal form. Like we can see here, the data in the third normal form actually we transform it from the second normal form. In third normal form, we need to separate the transitive dependency from this table. As we can see here, we have all of the data. Okay, so here we can see the primary key on the table. All tables have their own primary key, as we can see here. Okay, that's all. Thank you.
First, you can see the diagram in the here. This is the organization evaluation form that we have done from the form that given from the lecturer. Yes, this is the EIT diagram. First, we are going to describe the relationship and also the entity inside the evaluation form, the organization evaluation form. First, inside the organization evaluation form is included semester, which means the current semester of the student who are going to do their practicum. In the semester table, we are having semester ID, sections, and year. Semester ID is to represent the primary key of the semester table. Now I'm going to describe the relationship. The relationship between organization evaluation forms and semester is that one organization evaluation form can include many semesters, which means many semesters is included in one organization evaluation form. Next, we are going to see inside the organization evaluation form, it must have a table student, which means the student detail. Organization evaluation form contains of the student table, which the attribute is entry number of student, names, and organization. Organization is the company that the students are going to do their practicum for the 6 months. Okay, the matching number is represent the primary key for the student table. The evaluation form one evaluation form can contain only one student detail. One student detail can contain by one organization form. Okay, next. Other than semester and student table, we are going to have an officer who are going to report the organization evaluation form to the school. So, organization form is reported by an officer. Inside the officer table, we are having officer ID, officer name, officer's signature, and officer stamp, and report date. Officer ID is represent the primary key for the officer table. One organization evaluation form is reported by only one officer. Next, other than the details of the information of the organization evaluation form, we are going to check the marks of the student. So in the organization evaluation forms having 3 tables which is contain the marks and also the comment from the organization. First is individual assessment, project assessment, and also overall feedback. First, we are going to individual assessments. Organization evaluation forms record one organization evaluation form record only one individual assessment. Individual assessment having another 6 tables to be more detail of the mark and also the name. So in individual assessment is having knowledge table which content of knowledge ID, knowledge name, and knowledge mark. What is knowledge ID? Knowledge ID is actually an ID that represents the knowledge name. Each knowledge ID having different knowledge name. For example, we can see in the form. For knowledge ID K001 is understanding of the name of the knowledge ID is understanding of organization government. And then we have knowledge mark, which means it represents the mark that deserves for the student and is examined by the is given by the organization. So one individual assessment can only has one knowledge. After we done the ERD diagram for the organization evaluation form, we are going to make them into table, which is UNF, first UNF, second UNF, and third UNF. In the first UNF, we are contains all the information in the table, which you can see on the screen there. We are having all the information in one UNF without separate anything or describe anything. After that, after we done one UNF, we are going to first normal form, which is one UNF. From the rule for one UNF, only one values can contain only one an attribute of the table cannot hold multiple value. It can only hold atomic value, which means only one value per one column of the table, one attribute of the table. So as you can see in the screen, you will find out that we have more than one knowledge ID 1, 2, 3, 4, and more, but we only have one student detail and the semester table, right? So which means in one UNF, you can see on the screen is we put all the information for repeating and make another row for those information. Okay, next we are going to second UNF to find the non-prime attribute, which means the attribute is not a part of a candidate key. So which means we will separate all of them. As we can see, we separate the second UNF, we separate into three tables, which is student table, lecturer evaluation forms, also the officer table. Now we are going to the third normal form. For third normal form, the table must be in 2 and F, which means second normal form. And we are going to remove the transitive functional dependency of non-prime attribute on any key to remove the transitive functional dependency. Okay, now we look at the screen. The screen is showing the 3 UNF. So for student organization table, they don't have any transitive functional dependency, so it will remain the same, but the metric number for a student organization, the metric number can represent the student name and organization. Another way can also represent the semester, session, and year. That's why we separate it into two labels. Now we are going to check one by one. For the knowledge table, we can't do any change. We didn't separate it for them because knowledge ID is represent the name, but knowledge ID didn't represent the mark. So we keep it to be the same. And also same for verbal communication table, writer communication table, social skill and responsibility table, value attribute and professionalism table, reasonable table, lifelong learning table, practical project presentation table, problem solving table, and you can see the last two table is the officers table. Officer's ID is represent the officer's name, but also at the same time officer ID is represent the officer's signature, officer's stamp, and the report date. Yeah, that's all for the table representation for organization evaluation form.